All right, guys, we are live. We are now opening up with the AI panel. What I'm going to do is let the panelists introduce themselves. These are some of the smartest people that I know when it comes to AI. So, Francis, go ahead and open it up, brother.
Sure thing. Francis Ablola, AIforbusiness.com. We run a community of business owners who want to learn AI, get involved in AI. Our Facebook community is about 50,000, and we have 40,000 people who've attended our live 3-day virtual events for the last 2.5 years.
Awesome.
Hey, everybody. My name is Bob McIntosh. I am one of the co-founders of 3 Degrees Consulting. We're a full-service marketing agency. However, we focus a lot on helping real estate investors and service providers to the real estate investing industry. We've done a lot with AI, more so on the actual marketing front. So how do we use it to improve, influence, make things faster, work better in your business and with your audience on a marketing perspective?
And my name is Adam Peters. I am with Allset Technologies, the Chief AI Officer, and we're focused on small to medium-sized businesses, making them AI-first companies, because we believe if you don't implement AI into your business within the next year, you'll be left behind.
Awesome. Now, these guys are going to talk. We touched a little bit on some of the AI aspects of the marketing side of things, but these guys are going to talk about how to execute and leverage AI in your business in a number of different ways. And these are the people who are doing it in so many different kinds of environments to create so many different use cases. So let's start off, Francis, with how can entrepreneurs identify where AI is going to have the biggest impact in their business? A lot of people make the mistake of just like, oh, just ChatGPT and I'll just have it write stuff. But like, where can they really get the most impact? How can they identify that?
So that's a great question, Jeremy. The biggest thing that we see right now, and we train thousands of entrepreneurs every single week, and when the biggest question that we get is, what do I do with AI? They feel left behind. They feel like it's moving so fast, and it really is. But the first thing that I say is actually think about your business. Don't think about every single tool that's on the market right now, or maybe I just know ChatGPT. I don't know anything else. Think about what needs to be automated, what needs to be made easier. What can you put in your business to make it simpler, and then look for the AI tools. Don't go around finding every single thing on the marketplace, because there's new tools coming out every single day, every single week. ChatGPT just released something that completely changed automations, and it's going to change next week. Video is changing constantly. All this technology is moving so fast. Don't try to keep up with technology. Understand the foundations of your business first. Understand what goes into your business, what you need to improve, what you need to change, and then think backwards. Okay, now find the tools, because the tools are always going to change. Like
Right.
Nothing's out there. Figure out what you need fundamentally to help you in your business in the short term, then the long term. Then figure out a game plan backwards.
So you're approaching it strategically rather than tactically, which is where most people approach it.
Absolutely.
Love it. Bob?
Yeah. So when I look at how and what we should be doing with AI, particularly in our businesses, from the marketing angle, the biggest thing I can say is just look for the small repetitive tasks that you can replace it with quickly and easily. AI is like any employee that we might hire in our businesses, in the sense that it's going to require a framework. It's going to require a little bit of training. It's going to require some effort to do. There is not a tool that I find where I just push a button and it knows immediately exactly what I wanted it to do without some sort of prompting, some sort of direction, some sort of energy behind it, right? So think about that. And then the other part of this is, don't expect, I see this a lot. There's a misalignment of expectations that I will plug in AI and it will simply replace 100% of the thing, whatever the thing is, right? And it won't. It's never going to, at least not right now. At some point, sure, maybe, but we're still ways from that, I think. And so understand that it can get you 30 to maybe 70% of the way through the thing you're asking it to do, but we'll still maybe need some oversight, some input, some human, massaging of information, data, whatever it is, but it can accelerate the progress of the task you're asking to do it, even if it can't fully replace the task.
Awesome. Adam?
Yeah, I got to agree with both of them. We try to identify where you're spending the most time, how much ROI you can get out of that, and then kind of work backwards from there to implement systems, automations, leverage AI as a tool inside of your business where you identify those opportunities. For example, we work with a client that was repetitively entering data 4 times, the same data over and over and over again. They do it once now and they save an incredible amount of time through the week. So just echoing what those guys said is just identify inside of your business what is taking you the most time, what's your biggest problem, start there, get that automated, implement AI into it, and then you will identify all the other problems and where AI fits into your business.
Love it. All right. So what would you say are some of the biggest challenges when adopting AI in your business?
That's me.
That would be you.
Perfect. All right. Now we're going in order. Wonderful. So the challenges, the biggest thing that I see right now is that so many business owners feel either behind on AI and they're scared about it, or they think they know AI and they really don't, or they're just trying to figure it all out and everything's moving so fast. So from the biggest challenges, it's implementation of knowing back to really the first question, of knowing what needs to be implemented. And bright, shiny object syndrome with AI tools is massive right now. Every single day we hear about this new revolutionary tool that's coming out that beat the last revolutionary tool that came out yesterday. And to me, so many business owners are trying to keep up with everything, every change without implementing something first. They're not taking these steps that need to be really implemented of understanding, hey, if it's video that's in my business, these are the tools that I can use, just getting something finished before moving on to the next thing. So one big area that I see is just understanding your own game plan of business and how the AI tools fit in. Really going back to that same question, that same challenge that we have. The other thing that I see is just not knowing what's out there and just thinking everything's a Google search. And AI is more than a Google search. And I see it all the time, right? I tried AI once and it gave me a recipe and that's all I need it for. So it's that mix of depending on who you are, what your business, where you are in AI and learning, just figuring out, I need to know my business first before anything else.
Okay. Love it.
Yeah, so I would say the biggest challenge that I see for most of the folks that we work with is a misalignment of expectation in their mind that they need to become an expert in AI. Just like anything in our business, right? All of you, if you're here, it's an entrepreneurial summit, right? So I'm going to make the assumption that everyone watching or participating owns a business of some capacity. You do not need to be the expert at every single thing in your business, because if you were, you won't have a business. You'll have a hobby because it will never get past you, right? Find people like these on either side of me here who are experts, right? This is no joke. I talked to a 17-year-old kid, and I'm not even going to joke. He spends literally every day from post school at 2:30 p.m. until 2:30 a.m. just learning AI stuff, right? There's tons of folks who will do the heavy lifting of finding the next greatest tool this time and learning it and figuring out NNN and plugging in JSON code and sitting over here and vibe coding that. And I know we've been talking about vibes today. It's kind of weird, right? I was waiting to bring that up. Sure. Like I wasn't even trying to do that. But like all these things, like they will go deep. You don't have to know everything about it. You just have to know, like Francis said, hey, this is where I'm plugging it in. This is where I need the help. This is the thing that's taking time or I need to get rid of. And then find the expert to help you plug it in. It will be better, faster, and easier for you and allow you to not focus on learning something new that you don't necessarily need to be knowing, and as much as focusing on how do I succeed and push my business to the next level it needs to be at.
Love it. Adam?
What was the question again?
What are the
Yeah.
What are the biggest challenges when adopting AI in your business?
Yeah, so I think honestly, it's entrepreneurs trying to go like what Francis says, shiny object syndrome, but not realizing that you can get a lot accomplished with a $20 ChatGPT subscription if you know how to leverage it correctly. If you know how to set it up so that it calls you what you want it to call you, that it knows everything about your business, it knows how you talk. I think that's incredibly powerful. Then learning how to use GPTs and custom projects, you can get so far with that before you ever even need to go look for the next tool. If you stack ChatGPT with something like Perplexity, now you just open up a whole world to you. I'm a dumb infantry guy sitting on an AI panel right now. I'm not technically trained. I taught myself everything leveraging ChatGPT, and I really think that a lot of entrepreneurs could benefit from just spending a ton of time with something like Gemini or ChatGPT or Claude or Grok, whatever your flavor is. You don't need all of them either. You just need one of them and stick to that, learn it, see what it's capable of, train it because it does learn from you. I really think that that's where they should start. And that's the biggest challenge is signal to noise, man.
Outstanding advice. I want to share a little bit from kind of my own personal journey because Francis and Bob helped me quite a bit with my own AI situation. And I got into it and I'm like, oh, ChatGPT, super cool. It's going to write all this stuff. And then I messed with it a little bit and it sucked. And I'm like, oh, this sucks. And I'm like, oh, you're not using it right. Right. So I went in and I started messing with it and trying things and asking for their advice. And that was where I got to the point where it actually worked effectively. So, what they're talking about is absolutely spot on. It's not a, plug and play kind of scenario. So great advice, guys. All right, so let's talk about this one. I see a lot of people struggle with this. How do you decide whether to use an existing AI tool of some sort or kind of build your own, cobble together different tools, ChatGPT, Zapier, things like that, to make your own kind of in-house tool?
So the weird thing about the space that we're in right now, what is it? AI is growing at a pace of 10x every 6 months. And right now, it's the worst it'll ever be from this point, right? So the thing is, what you developed even 2 weeks ago is going to change completely 2 weeks from now. And that's one of the hardest things. So I just got off the phone yesterday with somebody who's been developing with a developer, programmer, things like that. And he created this whole thing. It's been a 3 or 4 month project. And he's like, oh, well, I did this in Lovable in 2 weeks. The same thing that I spec'd out for this project that hasn't even taken to completion. Because of Lovable just created a new API and code base that they had. And now it's even better than was before. And things change so fast.
It's badass.
So that, yeah, it's amazing, right? And so, but that wasn't the thing 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And that's so scary right now. So building out your own AI tools versus cobbling things together, we just don't know. And I think that you should have somebody on your team that knows this stuff, like that kid, that 17-year-old kid that knows all about AI. I'm not the AI guy that stays up 3 a.m. in the morning every single day in my company, but my business partner is. And every single day, 3 a.m., 2 a.m., I'm getting the newest updates, right? So plugging in to see a community that has those types of things and know it's there, I just see, okay, this is cool. Let me kind of work on this. And does it make sense? So back to the question though, how do you know to bring in a team or outsource? It's a really hard question. If you don't have the resources in-house to do that, I would find some experts and people that you can trust more than anything else. It's just a team that you can trust that is into this and not following that bright, shiny object. Because what you're doing today, get to minimal viable product first. Get it out in the marketplace, launch it, and then fix it and test it. Don't say, okay, well, this is awesome. I almost have my minimal viable product, but this is cool. Let's go build the whole thing again. And I actually see people doing that now over and over and over again.
Love that. Awesome. Bob?
Yeah. So when I think about building this, right, again, I go back to the same answer I kind of had before, which is we're entrepreneurs, right? So if you're listening to us right now and you're thinking to yourself, man, this is good information, I'm glad I'm learning this today, then you shouldn't be building your own AI tools. Flat out. I'm sorry, you shouldn't. You're already too far behind, in my opinion, right? The reality is it will take you longer to get up to speed on what's happening today. And then by the time you do, you're already behind because the tool 2 weeks from now is there. And so my opinion is don't. Just cobble together whatever you need or find someone who can figure it out or find that guy who's geeking out till 3 o'clock in the morning on weird AI tools and building things for you. Because guess what? He'll figure out the next thing you need to do where you need to go. And then the other part of this is don't like, I love AI stuff. And like, look, we're building a lot in our here. That's why, in our business, that's why we're here, but don't also let it overtake the business. Right. You can go down rabbit holes. I'm sure both these guys can attest to this. We spent way too many hours looking at and thinking about building AI stuff only to find out, man, like, am I actually moving the business forward or not? Right. AI should be a tool that helps you accelerate your progress in your business or simplify something in your business. It should not be the business unless you're starting an AI business.
I gotta agree with both of them, man. I'm all about simplicity, not because I don't want your business, but if you're playing with ChatGPT and you get it set up the right way, you can have it tell you what you should be building. You could have it analyze your entire business and tell you where the opportunities are for what you should be building. And I'm willing to bet that's going to be a pretty stable system that's not going to get outdated as everything changes. But to echo what Francis was saying, the tools change like on an hourly basis. So even I am the guy that stays up till 2 a.m. nerding out on AI because I think it's incredible what we could do. Just don't get lost in that. Like, stay the course, focus on the one thing, get the one thing finished, and see how that works for you over time. I have automations that run my podcast that have been running for almost a year. I haven't touched them. They haven't broken. There's probably a better way to do it. It could be more efficient. I haven't even changed the model on them, and they still perform wonderfully for me. So why fix what isn't broken? I don't need to go and update everything just because we're 3 ChatGPT models ahead now.
That's awesome. Bob, you touched on something about kind of going down the wrong rabbit holes. You think there's something to learn? Because I see so many businesses nowadays where they stick AI in like a buzzword, right? Every company say, oh, AI this, AI that. Do you think that we can learn anything from watching those companies and kind of seeing what they're doing as a cautionary tale, like what not to do from them?
100% we can learn from that. I just saw a study from I forget the name of the company. It was one of the bigger like research companies that looked at the Fortune 1000 companies and implementation of AI in. Actually, I think Brian might have posted this maybe, but and it was basically it was something like $15 billion or something like that have been invested in AI tools across these companies, and so far 95% of that was essentially what they deemed as a waste of money. And so what does that mean? Right. Well, these Fortune 1000 can certainly afford to implement that and probably not see a huge negative impact to their businesses. But for most of us as entrepreneurs, smaller business owners, that's simply not the case. So look, don't just shove AI in because you're here and someone's like, oh man, AI is cool stuff and we should, right? Again, going back to his point, which is where is it needed? Where should it be going? What things can I eliminate, reduce time input, or increase output, and just plug it into those things. All right. And look, we can all say AI this and AI that. We have it like, sure, right? And it will be a buzzword probably for the next several years until every Joe Schmo has implemented some version of AI that's irrelevant and doesn't actually work because they just slapped the AI label on it and called it a day. That shouldn't be you and your business. Look at your business critically, put that lens on and say, how is it going to actually help me move forward? Where can I, again, make things move faster, increase output, decrease time, or reduce reliance on employees or people like that? If we do it that way, I think you'll see a better benefits to your long-term success of implementing AI in whatever capacity you're going to be.
And that dovetails in perfectly with Francis's answer to the first question when we open up this panel. All right, so here's a killer one. If somebody doesn't have AI experience, they don't know what to look for, how do you really vet a potential AI partner who's going to come in and build something for you?
Trust but verify. Really, that's the answer for everything across the board. It's hard to tell because AI experience, what does that really equate to? Like how many years AI experience, what tools you're using, what's your experience in business, and really, is AI actually needed? I see so many businesses right now that want AI because it's the buzzword, but they don't have a CRM that runs their business. They run everything on spreadsheets. So if you come in and bring in an AI expert for a business that runs everything on notebooks, the average businesses use paper and pen to like follow up with their people. They don't need AI yet. Now, AI is going to help, and there's some automations there, but they don't even have the basic understanding of how to automate their business with CRM tools and follow-up tools. So it really depends on, and if there's the AI expert that comes in and they're pushing the AI tools, well, that's probably the person to stay away from. So it really depends on what you're looking for. In terms of who and providers for AI, I think it's just like anything, just like vetting any other marketing agency or any other type of agency that you're working with. Do you have a trust relationship? Are there references? Are there things that there's a track record of things they've accomplished? Are they pushing things forward or really just trying to sell you on something?
Awesome. Love it.
So I would look at it this way, right? No one's an expert in the classical definition of being an AI expert, because the reality is most of these tools and this whole thing that we're even here talking about today has only been a few years coming. Yes, AI has been in existence for a lot longer than that, but the reality is most of what any of us are looking at as AI today has only been around for a short period of time. So there's not really any true experts per se. There's just people who are heavy enthusiasts right now, and over time that will change. So I would simply ask the question of, what have you done in the past that is exactly what I need today? All right. And if they can't give you a definitive answer, then there's only, in my opinion, one of a couple of outcomes. Outcome one, okay, no problem. Well, you seem like you're one of those guys that geeks out on this, so I'll let you figure it out. Reduce the price you're going to pay for that person or for that expertise. Option two is, yeah, you have done it great. Like, let's go get it and make it happen. Option three is don't do anything at all. Right. That's your option. So it's just really about saying, have you done it? And they should be able to showcase it to you. And I'm going to tell you right now, if they can't show you what they've done in the past, then they probably haven't done it. They probably haven't figured it out, or they're just selling you a bag of lies of, oh yeah, I'll go figure it out, which is fine because we're all kind of going and figuring it out right now. Let's be real, right? Like, this is where it's at. But that should influence the price that you're paying for something. If they don't know and you're basically paying them to figure it out for you, great. Well, then that should be reflected in the price. If you got experts like Adam over here, it's like, hey, sorry, Adam, right? Yes, sir. Hey, I was like, all of a sudden I was like, oh man, like who his business does this, right? Obviously, he should have a repertoire of examples to give you to help you figure that out.
Outstanding.
Yeah, I gotta echo what he's saying. I'm gonna use my business as an example. We will do an hour-long discovery call with you, and we're very transparent. We will tell you if you don't have a CRM, the first place we're gonna go is to Airtable, because we're gonna use native automations inside of Airtable to get you set up with a system that is not a damn Google Sheet, right? We're gonna tell you. I just did this in a consulting call yesterday. Telling a client, like, it's better for you to use the current tool that you pay for than to pay us to implement a system for you. We would cost 3 times what you're paying, and who knows how it's going to change over the next 6 months because the tools are changing so fast. And so I would say what they said: vet social proof. Do you have case studies? Can you open your books and show that you've made money doing this? But also, are they going to be honest with you? Are they just trying to get your money, which is a quick win? AI space is a blue ocean, Wild West right now. There's zero niche to it whatsoever. You can literally do anything that you want. But are they being honest with you? Are they trying to just take your money, or are they doing it the way that we do it and saying, hey, you're better off to not pay us to do this? Maybe consult with us, hire somebody inside of your team to implement this or learn this. I think that's the way that you vet people. And I agree with both what they said. Anybody who tells you they're an expert in AI is a straight up liar, and stay away from. I am not an expert. There is so much that I don't know. There's so many things that I cannot do, and I will never claim to be able to do those things, but I can learn them.
Great advice. All right, so we're going to open this up for questions now. While we're getting everybody lined up here, what I would encourage you guys to do is look these gentlemen up on social media, give them a follow. Also, look up Francis's group, AI for Business. Every time I look at that group, it's got like another extra few thousand followers. It's insane. We were doing some PR for the event, and every time I'd go back, it was like, oh, it's got 40,000 members. Oh, now it's 43. Now it's 47. It's like, Jesus.
You should break 50 in the next couple of days.
Well, I think we can break 50 today. Perfect. So let's all get in that group. Great group. And then Bob's got one that he just launched recently. AI for real estate investors or investing?
Real estate investors specifically.
All right. Beautiful. All right. So I encourage you guys to look them up on social, give them a follow, pop into those groups. Whoever's got questions, go ahead and pop on up here, and we will open this up for y'all.
Jeremy, thanks for hosting this, and for everyone online, thanks for watching. I appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Yeah, ditto.
Thanks for joining us.
People here in person.
Yep.
You guys don't matter.
Okay. I have a question with all this technology. What's being done about cybersecurity?
I would love to take that one. So I just brief background for context of the question. For 6 years, I actually hacked banks and broke security, told them how we broke it and how to fix it. Legally, yes. Thank you. I should probably quantify that. The cops come in, please just give me a heads up. No, and so it's a great question, cybersecurity. So here's one of the things that no one ever talks about in a lot of these stuff. You start plugging confidential or proprietary information in a lot of these tools, that information is being stored, and in many cases, not all cases, but many cases, used to train the learning models that these AI bots, chatbots, agents, whatever you want to call them, are using. And so you do have to be careful about that. Here's the reality. This is my opinion. This is not stated fact, and I'm going to be very clear about that. I suspect that no matter what is actually happening or being said is happening right now, it's all bullshit. For example, when Google implemented Gemini, they just turned it on, and it suddenly had access to all of your Google Drive for your work, your business, all your emails and everything. And if you want to turn it off, not only did you have to go into deep settings, you had to actually contact their support, have them turn on a separate setting to then turn it off. So here's the reality. We can talk cybersecurity right now, but there is none. There's none true. Not for now. In a few years, maybe there will be some. But the reality is, in my opinion, the only thing that you should believe is secure right now is the stuff that you don't share anywhere on any computer system, which is sort of an irrelevant thing. In that case, whoever moves fastest and does the best, provides the best service, or is the best in their space, that's who's going to win. Move faster, you'll stay ahead of it.
Is there an AI? Is somebody working on an AI that would help with cybersecurity?
I'm sure there is, but the moment that AI has cybersecurity, other AI will break said AI, so it doesn't matter.
There are firms that specialize in it. There are firms that specialize in it, especially to harden your products that you create. So vibe coding and developments like Lovable and Base 44 and all those other tools exists. And it's almost like you don't know what you don't know. So if you develop something in that program, you think it's secure, someone with, a legacy development background comes in and takes a look at it, and they'll see 500 security errors.
Yeah, that's the big problem with the no-code tools, right? Is they write shitty lines of code and you're vulnerable. So paying attention if you're using the technology to row-level security, SQL, all that good stuff is essential when you use these tools. But I agree with what Bob said. There's no such thing as cybersecurity. You walk around with a computer in your pocket that listens to everything that you say. So I would not hang my hat on I wouldn't let cybersecurity stop me from anything.
Just move faster. And to his point too, the best way for someone like yourself who's not going to be a deep AI expert, or at least I'm assuming that's not your goal or intent in your life right now, is to find people who will geek out and nerd out on this stuff and just say, hey, how do I stay at least a half a step ahead of this so that I'm always aware of it, even if I'm not actually actively working on something?
If you look at some of the video tools, the deepfake tools like Sora 2 that just came out, incredible tool. It's also terrifying, right?
Yeah,
In a second, you can, if I show a video to my mom of me that I created in Sora 2, she can't tell the difference.
So, Francis, you were actually on TV talking about this just a few months ago about the video fakes being used for banking.
And voice cloning is so simple, and you really have to have some protocol to know that this is fake. It's very difficult now to see if this is true or not. And voice is getting so close, so realistic with just a clip of 30 seconds, not even.
I got to agree with you, 11 Labs. We just completed a $6,000 ebook or audiobook project using nothing but 11 Labs, and you can't tell.
It's scary.
It's insane. And I haven't played with Sora, but VO3 was incredible. So,
and it's an arms race. Everything's coming out new, faster, ignoring the security protocols that they should have in place.
And one thing just for everyone, this is just general, good practice. Anything that's important to you, to your business, to the function of your business, to the function of your life or your kids or your family should all be two-factor authentication of some capacity. In other words, it needs a code to do something. That includes your banking. That should include all your social profiles. Particularly after the last session we just had, we talked about how important it is to be on social, right? That should include all of your email, your workspace, anything of that nature. Anything that's important should have, and all of those things have that available. It's just most of us find it inconvenient. Well, you're going to find it real inconvenient when they hack it because they've used AI.
I want to add to that, though. You shouldn't be willing to die on the cybersecurity horse, because if you're not putting some of that information into an LLM, you're going to miss out on LLM SEO, which is a new marketing tactic. And I have no idea how it works. I'll be the first to admit that. I just know that my stuff shows up in ChatGPT, which is actually really cool when people send you stuff like that. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, you want to be secure, you want to keep your proprietary information safe, but also you want to be ranking in ChatGPT and all the LLMs, because that's becoming a huge thing and nobody has that market cornered. So don't fall for the gimmicks. Anybody who tells you they can rank you in an LLM, I think they're flat out lying to you, because nobody has come out with a protocol for that yet.
If you want something secure, don't share it with the LLM. Right?
Yeah.
Didn't ChatGPT just release everyone's history not too long ago? And we have no clue if that's going to happen again. Whoops. Yeah, exactly.
Great question. Thank you.
My name is Laura Hartman, and my question is specifically related to the privacy. So as a research nurse, it's like maybe a mindset question, but as a research nurse, I work with a lot of lay people. And you're brilliant, I respect everything that you're talking about, and I understand AI to a degree, but how can I break it down to where they can hear it so there is no hesitancy in them to participate in research?
I think you should just sit them in front of an LLM and let them play with it. I'm against all of these prompt frameworks. I use what I have coined brain dump prompting. I just put a random word vomit in there and I follow it up with ask me one question at a time to gather the context you need to get me where I'm going. It's so enlightening what you're able to find out. And I do it one question at a time because it helps the large language model build context through your answers so it won't ask you redundant questions. I think if you sit them in front of somebody who is completely unfamiliar with AI or how it works, if you just sit them down and have them brain dump some kind of task that they want to accomplish in there and then have it interview them one question at a time, the hesitancy will be over.
Using things like ChatGPT voice or Notebook LM is amazing. Take all the information in and it'll turn it into a podcast they can actually interact with and ask questions to, and it'll answer you back based off of the information. I love it when lights turn on.
Yes. Yeah.
The very important. Yeah,
Oh,
I see this, and you can do it very, very quickly. Pull out ChatGPT on your phone, talk to it, and brainstorm with it. And that one moment of, oh, I didn't know it can do this, because everybody thinks ChatGPT, who's not using AI on a regular basis, thinks it's just another search engine, and we all know that's not.
So much more powerful.
My name is David Bell. This question is for any of you guys, really. So I own a franchise, and we're Microsoft based. All of our tools, and so Copilot Studio is something we teach. What would help somebody that's like a franchisor who has systems that we want to copyright and protect? How do you deal with that when you're teaching an AI that has access on the back end?
So I would think just building systems like this for people having to deal with proprietary information like that, it's going to be an outside automation play. You're going to want to spin up your own kind of database that's secure, that only you have access to. So as the automations are running, it's reading and writing to a Supabase backend or a Postgres backend. That's probably the best way to do that. So all of your SOPs and all of that would be housed in a separate database that's completely secure, that only you have access to automate that through like N8N, or I haven't played with OpenAI's agents yet. I don't think it's going to be great, but you can, it's all password protected, API key protected. So the only way that anybody would have access to it is if you gave it to them.
Got it. Right. So in my Copilot Studio, I have it resident to me, even though Microsoft uses the information to train its systems.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very good.
And so on top of that, right, think about what you're building as a franchisee, right? Think about it in a couple of ways. One is, can I build whatever I'm building outside the norm and in its own little silo as much as possible? Now that silo might be other third-party tools where it could potentially be accessing that information or things of that nature. But the reality is, if it's just, let's say we're using ChatGPT, for example, right? And you're punching in a bunch of, like, I'll say proprietary processes and things that you do within your franchise that make sense. Well, the reality is, even though that information is stored in the language model, it may not necessarily be usable in a format that other franchisees, unless they think to ask it that and know that it's there, can use. With that said, however, right, you start building this out in its own thing. Now you have something that you can either take back to the franchisor to say, look, I built a cool system that all the other people are going to need, which becomes another stream of revenue for you potentially. Or you just take the whole thing and sell it to the franchisor for them to then deliver it there. I've seen a lot of really interesting things. We worked with a company that is a franchise in the home services space, and developed some things that they actually ended up using to go to other franchisees and say, hey, we figured this thing out and it's better than anything else that the franchisor offered. Do you want us to do that for you? And we're able to plug it into, at this point, 170 other franchisees, right? And they get a small piece of that. Now, it's not like, hey, this didn't add massive bottom line revenue, but it probably added about $200,000 a year to their business, which is still, hey, that's great. Paid for a lot of development tools, paid for my entire work with their team, things like that. So think about things that way, but you got to keep it outside that, for A, because you want to own it. B, because sometimes in franchising, especially, things you develop within frameworks that the franchisor has provided become their work. I don't know what your agreement is with them.
I'm the franchisor.
Yeah. Oh, you're the franchisor. Okay.
Franchise.
So even better, right? Yeah. So yeah, in that case, yeah, you could do it that way. So just think about it that way, and then hey, you're just selling it to everyone else then in that scenario.
Got it. Very good.
Thank you. You could also reverse, say, hey, look, here's a tool. Go play with it. You get to collect all the data and build the thing that you're going to sell to them later on.
Got it. Thanks.
Awesome. All right. Any more questions? All right. Well, let's give a round of applause for our panelists here. Great information, guys. And like I said, I encourage all of you guys to go look them up on social. They are constantly sharing great advice. You guys are going to learn a ton from them. What you got here is just the tip of the iceberg. All right. Thanks for joining me. Thank you. My pleasure.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, guys.